one. What up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. We're gonna be talking about. We had a busy news day. There's no other way to sum it up. In the last 24 hours or so, it has been an exceptionally busy news day. And unlike what we seen maybe a week ago when Trump was benefiting from a huge caucus victory in Iowa, a fairly sizable victory in New Hampshire, being given endorsements by everyone from Vivek Ramaswamy to Tim Scott to Ron DeSantis, the last 24 hours or so has been the exact opposite for President Trump. It has not been good. So President Trump had a very good span of around 10 days, but the last 24 hours or so has been just the opposite. So what we're going to do is ask a couple questions simply coming right out of the news. Because make no mistake about it, a lot of folks believe that Trump is the guy to get this country back on track. Trump is the guy to get the border under control. Trump is the guy in regards to restoring a good economy. That's how a lot of folks feel. So what we're going to ask is this. Which would you prefer? To have a good economy and have the border dealt with right now, which would obviously benefit President Biden because it would give him something to brag about? Or would you rather leave everything chaotic to further dismay President Biden's presidency and then strengthen Trump's chances in 2024 in November? Which would you prefer? The border under control right now and working to fix the economy right now? Or would you rather wait, leave things chaotic, and get Trump in November? Now, this sounds ridiculous to even ask a question like this, but it is based on real life events. So perhaps maybe whatever they could do with the border right now, if you left it chaotic, Trump could make it even better in November. If you started getting the economy in better shape right now under Biden, perhaps if you left it chaotic, Trump could do a better job in November. Why would we want to wait to get the border under control, to get the economy back on track? That sounds ridiculous on its face, but make no mistake about it, I'm asking this question because the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, has actually admitted that he's been advised by President Trump to not even work with the liberal Senate in regards to a bill to get the border under control. Don't even leave it as is. Let Governor Greg Abbott continue sending migrants up north. Let the folks coming in continue to make the news, keep everything chaotic. Don't even work with the Senate. This would obviously help President Trump tremendously because the border is a weak point for the Biden administration. There's no denying they look horrible on the border right now. But they have a plan in place to get things rolling. Do you believe the folks on the right should even work with the Biden administration to do that, or leave things as is until Trump gets in office? You've had the likes of Mitch McConnell and Mitt Romney and a few other Republicans also literally admit that there are Republicans that want to stonewall any discussions in hopes of helping Trump's chances of being reelected strengthen. Is that something you would support? So looking in the box, before I go and start taking callers, understand the program is, always will remain MAGA friendly. MAGA are my preferred guests. Liberals are welcome on the program as well. Program is always MAGA friendly though. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone for their commentary, so you don't have to agree with the host. Understand that it's all about free speech. So looking in the comment section, just stop the economy is doing great. That's your man Trump wants problem I wish you'd stop. Gary Gilmore, I get your point. In other words, quit saying the economy sucks. Right now it's actually doing great. And you're suggesting that it is Trump and the Republicans that want everyone to think the economy is bad. That only goes so far. On paper, I agree with you, Gary. The economy is actually doing well. The stock market, things like that, and the jobs numbers under the Biden administration have been phenomenal. However, perception is reality, Gary. And folks do not see, in regards to their own pocketbook, their own bank account, their own spending power, they don't see what you're saying is valid. That is why folks are saying the economy is not doing well, because they go to the grocery store and they cannot afford the same groceries they could under the Trump administration. We can talk about corporate greed. We can talk about the president doesn't have anything to do with it. We can come up with a host of excuses. Just telling you how it is. Looking in the comments, and Charles Fowler says wrong. If that is incorrect, let me see the Democrats shouting out how great the economy is. I don't see it. Biden's numbers should be way better than they are. You can turn on left-wing media outlets like MSNBC. They're not singing the praises of President Biden. Show me where all the Biden flags are. Folks celebrating Biden. I don't see it. I see a lot of folks that don't like Trump, but the folks celebrating Biden, you show me where they are. Tap the screen, get your boy up to 10,000. You know how we run the program. The tapping of the screen helps out the algorithm, brings in more MAGA, makes the program a little bit more interesting. So let your thumbs not be lazy. For you folks that are on YouTube, smash that like button. Going to the box, we'll start it right out with Tim Myers. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program, Tim. So a good economy and the border under control now, which would help Biden, or would you be willing to wait, leave it chaotic to help Trump's chances? What say you, Tim?
Well, they trying to help. At least they can say it makes no sense, because if they be like, oh, let's start the help, and then when Trump get in office, let's finish the help. Wouldn't that make more sense and make them look better?
No, because wait, hold on. If they started right now, it leaves Biden the ability to brag that the border got under control under my watch. I was able to bring the Senate and Congress together, which is a more unified America politically, and we got the border starting to be better off. That would be something Biden could brag about. It would hurt Trump because it would make Biden look better. So once again, would you rather it be done now, or would you rather leave it as is to strengthen Trump's chances of becoming the president again?
I would say I'd rather be done now. They always said that he doesn't do nothing about it, but I don't even like the man myself. I don't like none of them. But if you're going to do something about it, I don't know why they're not just accepting it.
Mm. Well, I just kind of gave you the reason that it would hurt Trump's chances. I mean, now you said you don't like either one of them, but let me just ask you in regards to what we're looking at, which is a Trump-Biden rematch. If it does come down to those two, what are you going to do, Tim?
I don't know. I can't vote for Trump because I've seen what he's done with it, with the economy.
You didn't like Trump's economy during his presidency?
No, not his economy. Mostly his the way he speaks and just goes off, and I just didn't like him.
Okay, when it came down to Trump versus Hillary Clinton, were you voting back then?
No, I was under the voting age by then.
Okay. What about Trump versus Biden in 2020? Where did you go?
I did vote then. I did vote Biden because I was under the Trump regime, and I saw how bad that was. So it's kind of like a retaliatory thing.
Okay. So you don't favor Trump as a leader at all. You think he did a bad job?
Yeah, I think he did a pretty bad job. Mm-hmm.
What about Biden?
I think he's just. I mostly voted for him to get Trump out, and he's doing some stuff, but it's just more of the same sometimes. You know, it's just like I voted for the lesser of two evils, and it's just like he's doing a lot of bad stuff, and then he's doing a lot of good stuff. It's just you don't know where to go in that comedy at this point. Like if you're voting for somebody just to vote for them, but you don't like them, because I know a lot of people don't like him, but they voted for him because he was, say, the lesser of two evils.
You're talking about Biden?
Yeah.
What part of the country you're from, may I ask?
From the southern part, Georgia.
Wow. Okay. From southern Georgia. Not a lot of Democrats down there, is it?
No. Definitely not.
I was going to say, I'm sure you're not seeing Biden flags anywhere around down there. Wow. Okay, so you are, because a lot of folks often ask, how the hell did Biden get 80,000 votes from his basement? And I often bring up folks that I believe you are one of them. A crowd of folks that do not favor Biden and might likely not vote for him if his opponent was not Trump. You just stated it. He's the lesser of two evils. So you'll vote for him, but it's kind of like taking castor oil. You just want to get rid of the cold, but you don't like castor oil.
Yeah, I definitely don't like the taste of that.
All right, fair enough. I think you represent a large voting bloc, Tim. I really do. I got to move it on, but I do believe you might be among the biggest voting bloc if Trump loses.
All right, thank you for having me up. I'm surprised you actually picked me.
Hey, well, I'm glad to have you on anytime. Come on back through. Appreciate you coming in. All right. Looking in the comments, my opinion, if you don't know much about politics, you would say you're voting for the lesser of two. Marie, look, we've long since evolved past poll tests where they used to have you take a test to see if you knew enough to vote. In fact, Vivek Ramaswamy, interesting you mentioned that, wanted to increase the voting age because he believed younger folks are not, I don't want to say intelligent enough, let's say experienced or mature enough to make an educated decision on who to vote for. I don't agree with any of that because I think every voter has their own particular issues. Like when you say if you don't know much about politics, you may not need to listen. If you're a strong Second Amendment supporter, do you really need to know a lot about politics in regards to who you're going to pick if that's your issue? I mean, we know how folks feel about the border, how folks feel about immigrants. You don't need to know a hell of a lot about politics to make a decision. Same thing with pro-life versus pro-choice. So it depends on what your issues are. You don't need to be a bookworm to make a decision at the polls. I mean, it depends on what you're voting for. All right, looking in the box, you should either be in college, the military, or employed in order to vote. Sounds similar, and I'll go back to the box, but it sounds similar to what the Founding Fathers originally did, where only white males who owned property could vote. I'm not a fan of it because in regards to what you stated, you should either be in college, the military, or employed in order to vote. You're creating a certain type of person that votes, and for the most part, they are going to pass laws that benefit those types of people and other folks that don't fall in that category. They're not going to give a damn about them, such as the disabled, folks that are, dealing with depression and mental illness. They can't work. You don't fit in that category. Only college, military, employed individuals can vote, according to you. You think they're going to really be concerned with those other groups? No. So I don't believe in creating certain groups of people because they're at the end of the day, if you do that, they're only going to vote for things that are in their best interest, and people that are outside of that window are going to be looking in for the most part come every election. Going back to the box, I do appreciate you folks tapping the screen. Get your boy up to around 15,000. And for you folks on YouTube, yeah, go ahead and smash that like button. We'll go straight to Takesha Blue. Good afternoon. I mean, Takesha go way back, so I kind of know what your answer is going to be, but I'll let you elaborate on it. Getting things done now, which would benefit Biden, or waiting, leaving it a little bit chaotic for the next 10 months to help Trump get back in power. Takesha, what say you?
They've been talking about the border since Biden got in. They swear it's wide open. Ain't nobody stopping nobody from coming in.
Yeah.
Now they've come up with a solution to slow down the people coming over at the border. And you mean to tell me you're not gonna vote for this package because Trump told you not to?
Yeah.
The man that they say got America's best interest at heart, that is all about America, that wants nothing but the best for America. Now he telling them forget the border help because I want to get in and I can run on this. Who does he care about? Himself. And that's what this is showing. This is him showing that his ego is big, and he only cares about self, about making himself look good. Because why wouldn't you want the help that you've been desperately saying we need? You just want to wait till you get in office? Come on, Trump, let's be for real.
Yeah, well.
And him calling those people is just like you getting remarried to him. And your ex-wife calling you, telling you how to run your house.
That actually happened. That actually happened. That actually happened. It's interesting you would bring that up. So you see Trump as self-centered, more focused on himself than the country.
He's more focused on himself, getting back in the office so he can rob us blind again, because that's what he did the first time. And because, like I said, if you're really concerned about the border, because that's all y'all talk about, why when you say, hey, that sounds like a great package, go ahead and do that so we can slow down the flow that's coming through. If you're not voting for it because Trump told you not to, you don't care nothing about the border.
Yeah. I gotta say it is something to be concerned about. Now, seeing the comments, clickbait, interesting name, is saying that this is misinformation. I don't know what.
Clickbait to bite me 15 different ways. He already know I can't stand him. So he needs to go on with the lies he telling, because it's been all on the news, all on Fox, that this man said Trump calling them and telling them not to make a deal. So clickbait need to click on off and find him some new bait to talk about.
Yeah, and I will add on to that in repeat what you just said. Even on Fox News, they're not downplaying the fact that Trump is somewhat interfering in American politics right now. He is actually, the Speaker of the House admitted it. I mean, the Speaker of the House has came out and admitted it, which has led to the likes of Mitt Romney and Mitch McConnell coming out and even saying, if we can fix this now, why wait? But they're receiving resistance from within the party now. So wait.
Because they keep letting the outsider run the inside. I've never seen so many men scared of Trump, bowing down to Trump, like Tim Scott, who need a whole gate around his mouth to make them teeth go in with that fake girlfriend that we'll never see again. Swear he engaged, but he ain't engaged to them but kissing Trump wrong. To sit up on that stage and say, because I just love you. What man? What grown man? What man?
You know, I want to say something. You know,
what alpha male gonna get up on public? Because I just love you.
You know, I pride myself in regards to having the ability to play devil's advocate. And by the way, folks, 20,000, but hear me out. And by the way, folks, tap the screen, get your boy up to 20,000. We got 400 plus of you in here. I pride myself on being able to see both sides of an issue, play devil's advocate in some points. But when Tim Scott did that, I couldn't. Yeah, there is no other side to that. Yeah, there's nothing.
Period. Yeah. Tim Scott is a weak man, and it's disgusting the way he carrying on behind Donald Trump. But you know what I found strange? Anytime we've ever had politicians or people running for office against somebody else, they always say negative things about the other person. Them people is on stage giving praise to the person they trying to be. Why would anybody vote for you when you saying the person you going against is the best thing since apple pie?
Yeah, you know, and I covered that on the show because Nikki Haley right now is trying to put a dent in Trump's campaign. But before, like you're saying, in the earlier debate, she was talking about how Trump was the best president for the time and he done a great job for America. And I'm like you, I'm watching her thinking, you know, he's still running. Why not just vote for him? If he's that great, why not vote for him?
That's just like me telling the woman my boyfriend cheating with. Well, you know you're a good woman. He should get with you because you're a good woman now. I mean, both of us are trying to be his woman, but you're doing a good job. You know, you're doing more than me in the bed. I can tell. So, keep up the good work.
All right, Takesha, you bringing up old memories.
I'm just saying, Hanson, they gotta cut the crap. You gotta stop licking up behind this man. It's getting Ridiculous.
But they believe this man is 100 times better as a commander-in-chief than Biden and has the best vision for this country. They support the guy because they believe they have a reason to.
This man won 10% of a man to his wives that he constantly cheated on. He was not a good politician. What did he do?
Bro, I'm telling you, even in the comments, Woodmaster says he was 100 times better than Biden. And now they got Biden.
Let me tell you why Woodmaster is saying that, because Woodmaster don't know what's going on in the world of politics. That's why. Okay. You got a lot of people who don't know politics that swear Trump is the best person for the job that can't give you one policy that he had.
No, I disagree with that. The border policy, they believe him.
I said you got some that say he's great that can't give you one policy.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I will tell you this. There is one claim to greatness that cannot be denied for President Trump. If you lean right, the fact that Trump walked out of the White House being able to say, thanks to me, you have 6 Republican Supreme Court justices. Let's be clear. If a liberal gave us 6 liberal justices, we would be celebrating it. That is a period. That is a part of greatness that you can't deny Trump.
That ain't moving me at all, Hanson.
Because they're not liberal.
Okay, like you said, for the right. But what about for the collective?
Do we ever think that way?
I'm just asking a question.
Yeah, you're right. It ain't
for the collective.
But you don't appoint Supreme Court justices for the collective. You appoint them for your side.
First of all, whatever Donald Trump did, it was not for everybody to benefit off of. And I'm going to say that. And me and you can disagree. You know, we could agree to disagree, but it wasn't.
We don't have to disagree with that. I do believe Trump was operating on behalf of the right. I don't believe he was operating. I mean, you start talking about shitholes, you know, liberal cities. No, you're clearly not operating on behalf of everyone. But
absolutely.
But let me give you this. You know, you always draw the ire of some of the commenters before I move it on.
You know I don't care.
Well, you're gonna have to take this one in. Cheeky, you know I'm running simultaneously on YouTube. Cheeky Chops on YouTube, hearing your voice, ask 2 questions. First one, is this caller white? Second one, Queen Latifah, stop drinking the Kool-Aid. The floor.
Chicken Chops need to shed his chops. And my name is not Queen Latifah. My name is Takesha, or you can call me Kiki. But don't ever call me out of my name. You see my name. I know you can't read, and I know you probably need hooked on phonics. But if you just sound it out, you can see my name is Takesha, not Queen Latifah. Chop, man. Chop, chop, chop out of here. How about that?
All right, Takesha. Hopefully I pronounced it correctly. Always a pleasure speaking with you. Catch you on the next one.
Bye-bye.
All right. Moving the program on. Somebody said I would love to talk to her. Was that M. Renee or something like that? All right, fair enough. All right, continue to move the program on. We're asking that question. Hopefully you guys will tap the screen, the likes. Some of you guys got some lazy thumbs in here. Let your thumbs not be lazy. Definitely show your boy some love. It helps out the algorithm of the program. That's why I often solicit it. Program is always will remain MAGA friendly. What do I say? If you enjoy civilized dialogue, both sides of the aisle, without any concern of the host trying to block, ban, or limit your opinion, follow the program. We're here Monday through Friday. Even though you could be anywhere, it's a pleasure for you folks that are here. Donald Trump is your next president, says, I cannot pronounce that, Supreme Moral Fan or something. Could be. There's an absolute possibility of Trump being our next president. So we'll see what happens. Going to the box, the question we're asking for you folks that have just tuned in and hopefully are tapping the screen. When it comes to the border, the chaos at the border, would you prefer under Biden, if you could, to get this fixed right now, but it would help the Biden administration in terms of re-election? Or would you prefer to leave it the way it is because Trump is campaigning on Biden sucks on border control and it would help Trump get reelected? Which would you choose? leave it chaotic right now to continue hurting Biden and strengthening Trump's chances of getting elected, or if you could help get it fixed right now, what you're favored at, knowing that it will help the Biden administration and potentially make Trump more likely to lose on election day. Now or later, like the candy, which would you favor, now or later? Looking in the comments, yes, the hypocrisy is going to backfire on Trump, says LFA Davis. We'll see. Hasn't so far. I thought there were no problems, says Kayak. Who told you there were no problems at the border? Maybe some liberals. Okay, I get your point. Have you been there, or are you just listening to the Republican BS? First of all, the issues at the border is not just coming from Republicans. Folks, talking about the citizens of Chicago, the citizens of New York, there are no shortage of interviews of minorities bitching about how bad things are at the border because now their cities are being flooded with immigrants. So it's not just Republicans at this point. I even though I'm no fan of Governor Abbott for some of the acts of inhumanity he has perpetrated on some of these immigrants, I got to get a guy credit because what he did, busing immigrants up north, has been a very successful political trick in drawing a lot of attention to the problem. It has really hurt the Biden administration because now, as I just stated, a lot of liberals are bitching about the border when they normally would not. Going back to the box, the one and only clickbait. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program. Clickbait. What's up? I saw you in the comments. I'll give you the floor.
What's happening, brother?
Not much at all. So what do you think, now or later?
Oh, definitely later. If
What?
you remember, everything that Trump tried to do, Nancy Pelosi wouldn't bring anything to the floor. The infrastructure bill he had, she wouldn't bring it to the floor. She killed everything that he wanted to do. So no need to help them. And another thing, this bill from the Senate, all it does is help get people back inside the United States faster. It doesn't do anything else. That's all it does.
But that's not what Republican members of Congress are saying.
Yeah, that's all it does. It gives money maybe for more. All it's doing is gives money for more judges, more border patrol people. But that's just to get people flowing into the United States faster. It's not to deport anybody. It's to get people in faster.
Well, but you understand. Go ahead.
Why did Biden wait 3.5 years to now do something? Why did the Democrats now? Remember, it was no crisis. Oh, this is a made-up crisis by Fox News. This is Karine Jean-Pierre, same thing. This is every time someone asked her, "Is this a crisis?" Oh, it's not a crisis. This is just something the Republicans make up.
Yeah.
They all said this for 3 years. Now all of a sudden it's a crisis and it's the Republicans' fault. Bro, that's hypocrisy at its finest.
Now I gotta say, I was okay. Fair enough. I was expecting you to go off the deep end. I gotta say, your answer is fairly reasonable. I'm not necessarily agreeing with all of it, but the way you're stating it is fairly reasonable because there is no denying that the liberals throughout most of Biden's presidency have been stating that there is no issue at the border. However, I have to push back and say, why would you be against money for more judges? At the end of the day, if you want to deport people, you're going to be needing judges to do it.
Because they're not deporting people. Everyone's coming in.
How do you know?
Mayorkas was interviewed, and he said that out of everybody that has come in, 8 million people, 85% have been let in. 85%, bro. They're not deporting nobody.
Yeah, but then why not? You do favor having more judges. Is that something you're against too?
No. I favor all that. But I don't want to give Biden a win. I don't want to give him anything because they never would give Trump a win either.
But if what you're saying,
it's tit for tat, bro. That's what it is right now.
So let me ask you, do you think what they're proposing is bad, or are you more focused on tit for tat?
I'm more focused on tit for tat.
So unity is of no concern.
What's that?
So unity, the America coming together is of no concern. You're more focused on avenging Trump.
You see how it is. There's no unity. There's no unity coming anytime soon. Watch my words. If Trump becomes president, watch the riots in the street. There'll be riots everywhere over fear mongering that a man is going to be a dictator. He's going to destroy the world, and he's going to put gays in the concentration camps, and he's going to put all illegals in concentration camps. He's going to put all these people in, and he's going to be a dictator, and he's going to do martial law, and he's going to have everybody rounded up, and he's going to unalive everybody. That's the fear mongering that the Democrats are doing right now.
Yeah, but clickbait. You got to admit, fear mongering is politics. I mean, how many folks on the right said Obama was going to turn us into socialist Greece and take everybody's guns away?
I agree with you. Yeah. I'm just telling you what the Democrats are doing is fear mongering. The Republicans, I'm not either. I'm independent, but I lean right and I vote Republican because I own a business. Okay. I like my taxes lower. I like my corporate taxes lower.
All right. So,
even if they're not lower, I can still afford it. It's just I would rather have them lower.
Okay. So at the end of the day, you clearly want to leave things chaotic right now. So if anything happens with all of the immigrants coming in, even though you may have had a way of lessening it, do you see that would be the responsibility or the fault of the Republicans for deliberately refusing to work with the liberals?
I think even if they sign the bill, nothing's going to change. The bill's literally not going to go into effect in the next 6 months. It's not going to happen. No, they're not going to put 50 judges down there or 1,000 judges down there right away because they don't have 1,000 judges to put down there. So it doesn't really matter. They don't have all these people they say they want to hire. They don't have these people. They're going to give money for it, but they don't have. Where are these people coming from? They don't have the people.
All right.
I mean, they can't get military. They can't get people to join the military. They can't get people to join the police force. They can't get people to do anything. But all of a sudden, they're going to put all these judges down there and all these extra border patrol. They're not going to do it.
So I'm gonna ask you a simple question, and I certainly see it in the comments. Dennis Calhoun asked this: what do you think Trump is going to do about the border if he gets elected?
He's going to do exactly what he did last time: is remain in Mexico. No, you shouldn't be able to come into the United States and wait for asylum. You should have to wait. You should have to do asylum where the first country you come into, and that's Mexico, or do it from your own country.
Yeah, but if you
remember, the mayor of New York was like, "Oh, we love all immigrants. Bring everybody in." What's he saying now?
I can't argue with that. I can't. You're right. They're now being flooded with.
The governor of New York was like, "Oh, this is just fear mongering from the Republicans. There's no problem at the border, no immigration." She was just interviewed. She said, "I just want to tell everybody that's coming in, don't come here. We don't have the room for you. Don't come here." It's hypocrisy.
Well, and I don't disagree with you that hypocrisy floats around everywhere because, I mean, I certainly see, a lot of Republicans, what they said on January 6th compared to what they said on January 7th. There's a ton of hypocrisy. I'm not going to deny that political hypocrisy exists on both sides of the aisle. But do you see Trump, when you say remain in Mexico, there are literally millions of them here already. What is it going to do with the ones that are in the country already?
Boom. Start deporting everybody. Just like Obama did.
You don't see where that may look very inhumane. I mean, Obama didn't go around the country grabbing millions of people.
Sure he did. He deported more people than anybody in the history of the United States.
Then why the hell don't he get credit for that? He's often referred to as open borders. Why were they saying the borders were open? Wait a minute. If you're saying he did a great job at the border, why were the Republicans saying he was for open borders?
I don't know. That's stupidity. Because Obama was the deporter in chief.
Yeah.
And guess what? Biden went right along with it. But now all this, you got to remember when Biden was debating, he said, "I want these migrants to surge the border. Surge the border." Now that they're surging the border, they want to do something about it. He wasn't saying that when he said surge the border, right?
Fair enough.
You have Democrats say he never said that. Bro, it's on video for life.
So let me ask you this before I move it on. 91 charges. You think he's going to beat all of that to become president again?
I believe the Alvin Bragg stuff, that's nothing. That's a nothing burger. 100%. That can't keep you from being president.
Okay.
I believe the New York money thing. That even if that happens, that can't keep him from being president.
No,
that's gonna get beat on appeal. You know.
Wait. Let me interrupt. I'll agree that what Letitia James up in New York is doing is not going to prevent him from being president or not. The part about saying it's going to be beat on appeal, I disagree with. I mean, if they can show he's guilty of what they charged him with, why would he win on appeal? I don't think they're making up anything. I think Trump believes that you're charging me with stuff where you've let other people go with the same crime, or that what I did, in his opinion, is a victimless crime. But if there is a crime on the books and they're charging you with that crime and you're guilty of it, how do you win on appeal?
I'm just telling you, remember today's date, and remember me telling you that'll get beat on appeal. Okay. That's just a fact. Yeah, it's a victimless crime. Even the banks, every bank that he took a loan from said that he didn't do anything wrong. We gave him the money, he paid it back, and we want more. We want to give him more money.
Clickbait. Clickbait. I could find a prostitute, pay her off, and get her to say the same damn thing. It's a victimless crime. I enjoyed the money he gave me, and I want to have him as a John again. You want prostitution to be legal under those premises?
We're not. Prostitution and the banking system is totally different.
A crime is a crime is the point I'm making. The fact that it's a victimless crime, that doesn't excuse you from breaking the law. I just gave you a perfect example.
I'm not saying to excuse anybody. All big businesses do the same thing. They depreciate their stuff. They devalue their stuff. They appreciate it during tax season. They depreciate it during tax season. I mean, she would have to go. I'll tell you this. If she goes after 20 other businesses and convicts them, I'll believe that she wasn't just going after Trump because he's Trump.
All right. I understand your point, but I think I totally disagree with you on the victimless crime and the fact that other people get away. Everybody speeds, clickbait. Everybody speeds. If I get a speeding ticket, I don't get to bring up everybody else going down the highway over the limit. I don't think that'll ever work in court.
I think it would. This being a victimless crime, I think it will. Because it'll show bias on her part as an attorney general. She ran on getting Trump. Look at all the videos. Every video that she's ever done talks about getting Trump. It don't talk about any other businesses. So it's a vendetta.
All right, fair enough. Hey, listen, I'll just say this. I could do all sorts of law violations that at the end of the day is a victimless crime. I mean, I could go put a note on the teller's desk at a bank, demand money, leave and change my mind, maybe find Jesus and come bring the money back. I mean, do you let me go because there was no victims? I mean, there's a ton of crimes you commit that are victimless.
No, because you took it in the first place. You already committed the crime.
Right.
In the first place.
Right. So if Trump signed documents that say at the bottom, this information, if it's not accurate, is a crime, you sign the document.
And the banks also signed off on it. So if the banks didn't do their due diligence to make sure everything was on the up and up, then it's on the bank too.
All right. Fair enough.
It would definitely be on the bank too, because the banks have to check in. Trump can say his property is worth whatever he wants to. He can say it's worth $20 billion. And now the bank will come back and say, well, we only think it's worth $8 billion, so we're only going to give you a loan for $8 billion. That's the bank's job to make sure that Trump is telling the truth about. And you can value your business at whatever you want. That's not a crime.
Listen.
I'm just saying this. If Michael Jordan had a house and you had a house next to each other, and it was the same house, same square footage, whose house is worth more? Yours or his?
His, because he lives in it.
Okay. And Trump's property is worth more than just a regular businessman because he's a celebrity.
Okay. All right, fair enough. I appreciate you coming in. Anytime. Go ahead, real quick.
The judge that said Mar-a-Lago is only worth $18 million. You know that's a lie, right? Come on, man.
I can't speak on it.
There's houses that sit in front of Trump's Mar-a-Lago that are worth $250 million. And you're telling me that all of Mar-a-Lago, that huge compound, is only worth $18 million? And how can a judge tell you what something's worth? He's a judge. He's not a property assessor.
Yeah. Well, then if you're right, Trump should win, at least on that particular aspect. But I disagree with you on the issue that if something is a victimless crime, you shouldn't face any repercussions. That part I disagree with you on.
No, I'm saying if he gets a fine, he gets a fine. I don't think that he should have to take all his businesses out of New York.
And I would also bring this up. You mentioned the bank signing off. If you put down information on what your property is worth, and this is what they're going after him for in court. If you tell the banks your property is worth a certain amount to get a loan, and then when it comes to paying taxes, you put a different number down there, how do you get away with that?
No, I'm just saying, if he did that, then he should get fined for it.
Yeah.
But I don't think he should lose his entire businesses over it and be kicked out of New York.
Oh. We'll leave it up to the courts. All right, clickbait. I got to move it on.
Letitia James and all the Democrats believe that this man, when he did this with his business money, that he murdered somebody. That's what they're doing. It's like a police officer that pulls you over for speeding and goes crazy on you because cops that pull you over for speeding believe it's just as bad as unaliving somebody.
Well, if you're going to have that mindset, go demand that all of these folks doing their life prison sentences for drug crimes where nobody died, no active violence. I mean, because Trump is not the only one going through this stuff. There are plenty of people doing double-digit years in prison for crimes where nobody got killed. Trump is not the first to deal with that.
They should be out right now.
Well,
they shouldn't even be in prison.
It would have helped if you felt that way before it happened to Trump. I got to move it on, though. I do got to move it on.
I do feel that way. I've always advocated for anybody that's ever been in prison for weed, for simple weed possession,
All right, I do got to move it on, clickbait, but I'm just simply saying, and I do appreciate you coming through, clickbait, but I'm just simply saying, I didn't hear any of this stuff before Trump went through it. You know how many folks in America have suggested that the courts are on witch hunts, giving folks ridiculous time in prison? All of a sudden it happens to Trump and now it means something? I've said this before, that in my opinion, Trump sounds a hell of a lot like Black Lives Matter. A lot of things Trump is complaining that the justice system is doing to him, that's what minorities have been complaining about for 50 years. He sounds like Black Lives Matter in my opinion. Looking in the comments, exactly, supposedly the party of law and order. And that's a good point as well. Because when folks have been complaining that the justice system is, biased or it's draconian in its laws, folks were often saying that. If you can't do the crime, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. We're the party of law and order. Now that Trump is getting caught allegedly breaking the law, hearts and minds are starting to soften a little bit. Well, maybe he did this, but it ain't that bad. Or as my last caller said, well, didn't nobody die? Kind of like The Hangover. Did you die? I don't know. Dustin Rankin says 1994 crime bill and 3 strike rules, all created by Dems. But show me where all of the Republican resistance was during that 1994 crime bill. I'm not going to give any pass to anyone that was involved in some of these draconian 3-strike laws. I believe Kamala Harris was in on some of that stuff too as a top lawyer in California. But it's not like all of these Republicans bringing this up to shame Biden. Show me all the Republicans that were against it when it was happening. I'm fine criticizing Biden for laws that locked up a bunch of black people, but don't come now and point it out. What were you doing when it was actually happening? I was an adult during that time. I can vividly recall folks saying, if you don't want to do the time, don't commit the crime. This is a post-racial America. Racism ended hundreds of years ago. Now all of a sudden Biden is running for president and folks want to come up and say, you actually are right. It was racist as hell in 1994. I was telling you it was hundreds of years ago. No, it was racist. Bring up Biden's crime bill all you want. There may be legitimate points there. But the Republicans are not going to get a pass on that. It's not like that bill made it with zero Republican support. I don't recall many Republicans facing or giving opposition at all. In my opinion, it's not even worthy of bringing up. It doesn't make the Republican Party look any better. Going to the box. Appreciate you folks that are tapping the screen. Smash that like button on YouTube for you folks that are tuned in. We'll go straight back to Christian Black. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program. Now versus later, Border Patrol. Would you rather get the border under control now, which could benefit the Biden presidency, or leave it chaotic, which would help Trump, and then Trump can get in there and potentially fix it under his administration? Christian, what say you?
Hey, thanks for allowing me in. That border control has been an issue since the beginning of time. I mean, there's no way to say that one president is going to do more, has done more. But I wanted to address the property value statement that the guy made with the Michael Jordan, if your house is next to his. It doesn't work that way. I'm saying from a little experience in real estate, it all depends on the location, the square footage of the house, the amenities, and the upgrades. Listed now, if they attach the name,
there you go.
Says, hey, Michael Jordan lived here. Then if the buyer wants to pay more because Michael Jordan's, name is attached to it, then okay, they can do that. But for listing the property value on personal property like that, the person's name has nothing to do with it. Now, if it was commercial and it shows financial statements, okay, this was a business and it's creating such and such, then yes. But for homes, for personal property, he was wrong. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. If it's a huge celebrity like Michael Jordan, even without putting it on the people, people know where he live at. A lot of folks do. I mean, I'm from Chicago. When he was up in Barrington Hills, I mean, we knew where he lived. But just using the example. But I get your point. If it's not actually told to the people and they don't know who this celebrity is, then yeah, it's just equal. But somebody of that stature, people are going to know Jordan lived there.
And it also goes by, let's say, the last house that was sold in that neighborhood, the amount of that, then the next house compared to the amenities and the square footage will be the bottom price for that house. So that's how it works, and that's how the houses get, prices in houses get bigger and bigger. And I want to say too, man, that I've been passing your page several times, and I was reluctant to stop because I saw your hat. But I'm
that happens.
Because you're very respectful. You listen to both sides, and you're telling facts. And a lot of people can't handle that, and they go to name calling and yelling and screaming or whatever. But there's issues on both sides. They say right wing, left wing, but they all on the same bird.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think we just need to come together as a country the best we can, because to me, America, I'm 53. America never was great. Now, there were some good times in the 80s, was good, but I can remember walking down the street being spit on. Right? I can remember calling it N-word.
Where'd you grow up at? What part of the country you're referencing?
Alabama.
Oh, shit. Yeah, all right. That makes sense. I'm from Chicago. I didn't see it that bad, but anytime you mention Alabama, anything you say from that point on is believable, if you're black. But how do you...
I didn't let my circumstances define my future. I got out there, and now I'm very successful. I'm not going to, say what I do, but I'm very successful. I just don't like the social media platforms to be all in your business like that.
But you gave a fairly reasonable answer, and you're promoting unity. So I have to ask, if it comes down to a Biden versus Trump rematch, you're talking unity. I mean, Trump is talking unity, talking about uniting the party. Could you see yourself voting for Trump?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Absolutely not. Because of... I know people say, well, the stuff he's done is in the past, but his morals, and the things that he's doing now, like he's trying to interfere with Biden and the Republicans to get the border under control because he wants to take credit for that. The things that he's doing on the SA case in court, he just doesn't have any respect for the DOJ, and he's advocating his supporters to whatever I say, you believe it. Don't believe anything else anybody says is all a lie. And that's the thing of mind control and this cult training. I tell you, I need to get a book on Trump. I think it's called The Psychological Thought of Trump or something like that, to see how he really can just get people to follow his every word. Now, I do have a friend, there's a good friend, white guy, that's a Trump supporter, loves him to death. And he advised me that, and I don't know how true this is because I didn't see it, but they get emails about I'm fighting for you, where everything that they say about me, they're saying about you. And it's like it's brainwashing these people. So I don't think it's going to take a long time for us to come together just a little bit, because he has put that line in the middle of the sand, and no matter what, he's
well, let me say this, because you're as an African American growing up in Alabama, Trump has a lot of African American support. Nowhere near 50%, but certainly more than Republican presidents in our lifetime, like Reagan, George H.W., and George W. Trump is getting more of the black vote. But Trump has stated, and I'm going to give you the floor. You can take this anywhere you want, but you give me your opinion on this. Trump has stated numerous times he's done more for blacks than any other president. What say you?
I haven't seen, well, I take that back. But this wasn't just for blacks. The tax cut for the people that makes a substantial amount of money was good. But I don't think that was all just for blacks. Now, a lot of people are saying that it was something dealing with HBCUs or something like that.
Right.
I thought the previous president had that in place, and he just enacted it. That's what I think. I'm not sure on that, but I think a lot of black people that are going for Trump, especially on a social media platform, are just doing it for clout or recognition, or try to get paid, or to feel like they're in some type of a group or whatever. Because there's no way that you can listen to this man talk. It's all about him. He's all about, if you don't like him or you say something negative about him, he's going to bash you. And there's no mutual respect, but he wants you to respect him and everything he says and does. And it just doesn't work that way. Now, am I a Biden fan? No, I'm not really not a Biden fan either. But I just can't see myself supporting Trump with the things that he's caught in lies, the fake university, the grabbing women by the JJs, the tax things, all the bankruptcies and stuff, and the J6 comments and stuff he made about the South Carolina comments about the good people on both sides. Well, obviously there wasn't. So I just.
But wait a minute. In regards to you talking about Charlottesville with the good people on both sides, I want because one thing you didn't mention, you went down and gave a laundry list of things you didn't like about Trump. You didn't mention him being intolerant. So it's safe to assume you don't see Trump or Trump supporters as racist at all, right?
Some. Because I've been on some lives, and you can tell that they don't want to say it, but you can tell, that they are. And that's.
But what about Trump himself?
I can't really say that because I don't know the man personally. Obviously he's had some black friends and so forth. Now, do I think that is I don't know. I don't know him personally. I'm just going off of what I.
That's fair. That's fair. You're not going to throw words out there if you don't feel it. I actually applaud that. I mean, you don't just throw the racism word out there according to you. Listen, I don't know the guy. I can't put words in his mouth. So I think that's actually fair.
Now, I can't be like the Tim Scott. That's just, I just can't believe it. I just love you. To me, okay, he's trying to get a position. You know what I mean? And you don't need to blindly follow a person like that because, they have some political influence and maybe billionaires or whatever, because guess what? It's not going to last. But the thing is that's really not terrifying, but concerning is that he's breeding that the election is never going to be the same. All political.
I think are you there? Looks like he must have had a call.
Yes, I'm here.
All right.
Someone called. I'll decline the call. It's never going to be the same because he has set precedents to how people are going to act and talk to people. And I don't think it's going to be civil anymore. It's okay to have a get down and dirty fight in political situations to show your views when you're debating, but the name calling and all of that kind of mess and the lying, the constant lying, it's just not called for. Now, do both party lies? Absolutely. But like I said, I'm in my 50s, and I have never, ever witnessed anything like this before. And it's just, and the people that say that he's not dividing, it's just, they just, closed-minded, because there's no way you can say everything that this guy has done is doing is for the people.
Wow.
You just can't. That's just impossible.
All right, Christian, this is our first time talking. Listen, anytime you see me on, feel free to come in the box. I will certainly enjoy talking to you. Don't be a stranger. Come on back through again, man.
Same here, man. I appreciate what you're doing, man. Keep positive vibes.
Much love, much love. All right, looking in the comment. Wow, you know what? I think his take was quite reasonable. Just like I mentioned with my last caller, who was certainly going to vote for Trump again. I'm willing to concede where I personally believe somebody is reasonable. I understand a lot of you folks watching may think I'm full of shit, and that is something I certainly feel you're entitled to believe, even if you're in the box. You know, I don't believe in censoring folks, so understand when you come in the box on the program, you will be allowed to state your opinion without any concern of the host blocking or banning you. And if this is a type of civility in conversation that you enjoy, follow the program. Remember, we're not here to tell you how to think. It's all about listening to what you have to say. Tim Scott is Trump's Ed McMahon. Damn. I don't know. To me, he looked even worse than Ed McMahon. I get your point, though. Too much emotion from this guy. I don't listen because a lot of folks accuse the liberals of being in their feelings. I even seen some folks, Cheeky Chops, one of my viewers on YouTube, who often says back to the fucking box. He doesn't like to hear me blow here, but Cheeky Chops, I do appreciate him tuning in on YouTube. A lot of folks suggest that liberals vote based on their feelings. I believe both parties do. I believe folks on the right just don't want to admit they vote based on feelings. January 6th was on feelings. Those folks that went to the Capitol to protest on January 6th was doing it solely on emotions and feelings, solely on what Trump had told them. They didn't have any evidence. I mean, it's been 3 years later, and the evidence that Trump won by a landslide, even for devoted followers of Trump, is still slim pickings. Most folks believe that the evidence will eventually come out. Even strong supporters of Trump have a hard time proving that, yeah, he won by a landslide. So all of that action on January 6th, it was on emotion. It wasn't based on any. It certainly, January 6th was only 2 months, 2 days after the election. Most of the shit was still being investigated back then. There was nowhere near enough evidence for them to go to the Capitol building and act like that. So folks on the right act on emotion too. It's not just on the left. Looking in the comments, and author Phil says January 6th was a big temper tantrum party. Speaking of temper tantrums, how do you folks feel about Nikki Haley, who refuses to bow out? Remember Hillary Clinton in 2007? Obama had clearly beat her and should have been the Democratic nominee, and Hillary Clinton was refusing to bow out. Now, Nikki Haley has been beat way worse than Hillary Clinton was beaten by Obama. But she didn't want to get out, and folks are getting pissed. Nikki Haley is pissing off Trump. And she was on television the other day saying Trump is having a temper tantrum, as Arthur Phil stated. You think so? What do you think? You think she's pissing off Trump? Going back to the box, real quick. Hey, brother, what's your opinion on what's going on at the Texas border? Wow. As some of my callers pointed out, we've always had a border issue. I personally believe that folks coming in the country see Biden as far more sympathetic to their issues than the Republicans under Trump. I mean, Trump was talking about putting up moats and dangerous animals, shitholes. I mean, Trump had nothing positive to say about immigrants. So if you're going to try to get into America, you definitely want to do it under a liberal administration. I mean, Trump is talking about poisoning the blood of America, rapists and murderers, vermin. I mean, his comments about immigrants it's not even debatable whether they're positive or negative. You can't even throw, well, he does favor some of them. It's just a lot of negativity. So what's going on at the border is partially because folks are sympathetic, or better yet, they believe the liberals are going to be more sympathetic. I mean, Trump is making it clear if he gets reelected, you're going to have the largest deportation in history. Literally all of his comments in regards to asylum seekers, folks who are here illegally, and even folks who are from the southern border that are here legally. All of his comments are negative. I don't think I've heard Trump say anything positive about immigrants coming from the southern border other than come here legally. All of his comments are negative. So that's one reason why they swell up under Biden, because they know under Trump, we're turning away everybody. I think Trump also stated we're full. When he was president, before Biden even became president, Trump stated under his own president, we're full. We can't take anymore. So there is not, all of this, I'm okay with immigrants, just come here legally. Trump was making it harder to come here legally while he was president. So there is absolutely no love for immigrants coming in the country from the southern border under Trump. I think anybody trying to make the case otherwise is just being disingenuous. So that's part of the problem at the southern border. They see liberals as more sympathetic, and they're swelling it, knowing that if Trump gets in, it's over with. Second issue at the southern border, I got to point out, Governor Abbott, Greg Abbott of Texas, is inhumane. What he's doing is inhumane. I get that he's trying to draw a point to what's going on, but I believe the guy should be up on charges, some of the things he's doing. I think what he's doing is just outright inhumane. And I do believe, I mentioned this before, you can win a battle and you can lose a war. What Governor Abbott is doing, drawing attention, putting a hell of a beating on liberals in regards to showing what's going on at the border, I believe he's winning the battle. Talking about Governor Greg Abbott, what he's doing. But he's losing the war, because I strongly believe that the immigrants that do get to stay in this country, have children, get married, become legal citizens or legal residents, and they can vote, they're going to hate the Republican Party. I think some of the things that the Republicans are doing in effort to get the border under control, and I'm fine with getting the border under control, but you can get the border under control without making it look like straight up hate. And when you're busing migrants up north in the cold with no clothes and refusing to tell the governments up north where you're even going to drop them off at, that's just hatred. You can send them to Chicago because you don't like what's going on. You can't have folks like a coat drive, or people can donate coats. You're sending people to a area that's going through a brutal winter with no gear. And then when the liberal mayors in those cities say, well, at least tell us where you're going to drop them off so we can meet them with supplies. You refuse to do that. I want to drop them off in a cold environment where nobody knows where they're going to be dropped off at. That's just pure hatred. Winning the battle, but it's going to be similar if they keep doing this stuff, vermin, poison in the blood and all this stuff, where it's going to be a bunch of descendants of these people that are going to be automatically voting Democrat. Similar to what folks say about black people. Because this stuff is going to be recorded history. They treated us like shit when we first came here. The liberals, they had a few complaints, but they did show us some love. They put us on buses with heat. They gave us hotels and schools to stay in. They gave us coats. That's going to go down in history as looking like you hate these people, that you don't even care if they die. And Governor Abbott has put devices in the water that actually has taken people's life. Going back to the box. Appreciate you folks that are tuned in. Olu, I cannot pronounce the last name. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Okay, so the issue is we can get some type of bipartisan deal between parties, but that would benefit the Biden administration. Or we can leave things the way it is and it would hurt the Biden administration, but it would help Trump get reelected. Do you want to solve the border now and potentially help Biden, or are you okay waiting because it'll help Trump?
I just believe the immigration thing has always been a political football, however you want to look at it. Nobody's doing anything about it. It's just a good talking point. Nobody does nothing about the immigration stuff. So waiting for you have to have processes in place, regardless of who's winning the election.
this notion that we are waiting for an idiot like Trump to do anything makes no sense to me.
Wait, you said an idiot like Trump?
He's an idiot. Because like you said, okay, we're going to have a heart attack, but I need the right doctor the doctor that's going to get the credit to treat me. Just because it don't make any. It makes no sense. The guy has a heart attack. We need to fix the heart attack right there, regardless of what's happening.
Yeah.
We need to have some order. We need to have some laws, and it should not be predicated on some stupid waiting for Trump. Why are we listening to this guy?
Well, I can answer that. Folks believe that Trump, the economy, not a lot of global conflicts going. Folks believe Trump was a much better president.
No, let me tell you something. You see, when you repeat the same thing over and over again, it starts becoming the truth. You lie convincingly and continually. And he has a bravado. I'll give it to him. He has some bravado to him. He's funny, right? He's got a lot of jokes, but he's not a serious person. I don't know why people don't understand. And I'm telling you, it's not even a reflection on Trump's, a reflection on us. And I'll tell you why. It shows that we're not deep thinkers. We're not critical thinkers.
But let me ask you this. Because I see in the comments, even Ollie says only MAGA thinks that. Under the Trump president, do you think Trump was a good president when he was in office?
Absolutely not. The guy who said, I can shoot anybody on the fist and I'll still get a vote, is that the person you're voting for?
Yeah.
Is that the person you're voting for? Okay, can look at that other idiot who was Clayback guy I was listening to too. Everything Trump does, if me and you, Tim, does that, where are we going to be?
I don't disagree with that. Two-tier justice system.
We're gonna be under the jail, right?
Yeah.
We don't even have to do that much. So it's false equivalence, in my opinion. It makes no sense. So they have this whataboutism. They have this argument, and it doesn't even, Stevie Wonder, who is blind, can see this stuff. It makes no sense.
But at the end of the day, folks do favor the Trump economy. You don't see. Well, wait a minute. You don't see a difference in the price of groceries, for instance, under Biden compared to Trump?
There's a lot. You see, it goes back to what I said, lack of critical thinking. There's a lot of things that happened between the Biden and Trump. We had COVID, right?
Right.
After COVID, there was all the things at the border that they couldn't. The supply chain was blocked up. There's price gouging. There's a whole lot of stuff going on.
But think about that. Think about what you said. The supply chain, the price gouging. Folks probably see Trump as a businessman with better negotiation skills and would probably get the price gouging under control.
No, he will get the price gouging under the control because it's his buddies who are there, so they wanted to favor him. It's still a game. There's no how you look at it. It shouldn't be that, this person is in there, so I'll bring the price down, so he's a good president. That's not how life works.
Yeah. Well, here's the problem, though. When they say Trump is a good businessman, they're looking at things going on with the country right now that they don't favor. And you have a commander-in-chief in office that is saying, well, this is corporate greed. This is a border issue that has always happened. In other words, he's president and he's coming across as feckless. Like, yeah, all these things are going wrong, but I can't do nothing about price gouging. I can't do nothing about the border issues. Then why are you president? That's what folks are saying.
Yeah, you see, it's always very simple. You see, when you're talking about complex issues, right? It's easy for simple people who have no critical thinking to talk. The problem is that you have to. I was listening to a quote yesterday. What scares me is that we have to beware of stupid people, because stupid people is like a divorce. I've been divorced twice, right?
Okay.
Nobody wins in divorce. It's a lose-lose proposition.
Damn right. Well, I take that back. There are some women that do very well in divorce, but keep going.
They can win for a while, but sorry about that. So they can win for a while, but at the end of the day, yeah, you can steal that guy's money, but you're still going to be miserable. It don't matter.
I don't.
Does the end actually justify the means? It makes absolutely no sense. So the other thing, like everybody have this whataboutism about what's going on. Oh, Trump did this. Oh, Biden did this, and they're gonna say, oh, like what you said about the crime bill, right?
Yeah.
Oh, but I don't like Biden. Biden was not my first choice, right? I can vote Republican. Take Trump out of the party. Give it to somebody else.
But let me with that. But think about what you just said. You said I don't like Biden. Give us some. Why is it that if Biden has been in there and he's done a decent job, like folks on the left are saying, why the hell are most of them saying exactly what you're saying? Yeah, I don't want to vote for Trump, but I really don't. Wait, hold on. If Biden is doing such a great job, why does he not have more support among liberals? The only reason they're voting for him is because he's not Trump.
No, liberals have always been whiners anyway. You know that. We whine a lot.
We didn't whine like that about Obama. They were happy about the Obama presidency.
Because it goes back to what I say. He's like a pretty boy and a boy and another guy who's just decent. Obama had the swag. People liked him. He had that little, good looking. What's so fake?
I think you're making. Listen, I gotta say, I think you're making excuses. If Biden was doing a good job among liberals, they would say that. They wouldn't say I'm only voting for him because he's not Trump. The liberals don't see Biden as doing a good job.
I think the liberals see him doing a good job, but the question with them is that the perception of it is not coming out the way they need it to happen. We are a society of fast food mentality.
Yeah,
right?
Thank you. Yeah, I agree with that. You mentioned the perception. I've said this numerous broadcasts.
It's more about perception about reality. So let me tell you something. If I come out to you and I talk real good, and I keep on talking real good, what liberals are horrible at messaging. Let's be honest with you.
I don't think they were horrible under Obama. I really don't. I think this is something specific. I do got to move it on, but I think that what you're talking about is more specific to President Biden. But I got to move it on, Olu.
Okay, no problem. Thank you, brother.
Appreciate it. Good talk. All right, looking in the comments. I used to be a Democrat. Then they went off the deep end, says Flies Goodbyes. Yikes. What did the Democratic Party do if you were a Democrat that made you go against the Democratic Party because they quote unquote went under the deep end? I'm not going to necessarily say that they didn't go I'm not going to say that Democrats did not go off the deep end because I don't know what you're going to point out. However, the Republican Party just rolled back Roe v. Wade, and many states are not even giving a woman a right to choose even if her life is in danger. You don't see any deep end rolling to that? So I just want to hear, feel free to elaborate. All right, looking in the comments. I'm in the military and still don't have a party. That could happen. A lot of people like Trump because they didn't like Obama because he's a black man, says Angie Smith. Yikes. So you're saying that Trump won partially due to racists being unhappy with who preceded him? Damn, I hope it ain't many of those. All right, looking in the box, tap the screen. Get your boy on up to 65,000. We got 500 plus of you in here. Show your boy some love. Tap the screen. Get the likes up. We'll go straight to Current Thing Advocate. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program. Let your thumbs not be lazy, folks. Tap the screen. Get me up to 60,000. Current Thing. Good afternoon.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Texas border.
You what?
I wanted to talk about this Texas border.
Okay.
Barbed wire. Everyone's crying about. I mean, everyone's saying like, "Oh, this is a big humanitarian deal. Like, how could we ever put up devices that hurt people?" I mean, I'm just gonna say, like, if you're running full speed in the barbed wire, I don't think we should feel sorry for you. Like, we put this stuff up as a deterrent. Like, let me ask you this: if I build a concrete wall and you run full speed into the wall, is it my fault? No, that's ridiculous. These people should not be doing this. This stuff is put up as a deterrent, and if you fucking are stupid enough to do it, we should probably just point and laugh at you. I mean, like, honestly, like, why are we feeling bad, you know?
Well, let me respond to that. It's like if you go behind a lot, and it was funny as hell, but it's sad because it's human lives. But if you go behind restaurants in America, due to the lawsuit crazy nature we have now, they put chains over their garbage cans so that homeless people cannot go and eat the food because folks were suing. You go eat food out, leftover food in an Olive Garden garbage can, and then you want to sue them because the food makes you sick. Now you would normally say what you said. If you're dumb enough to lift the chain and eat the food and get sick, hey, we should laugh at you. You should have been smart enough to see the chain. Now, these are desperate people, current thing. I get the razor wire running in the, barbed wire and things like that, but these folks suggest that they're running from cartel members that are actually threatening to kill them. If someone was threatening to kill you, and the only way to escape was through barbed wire, you wouldn't try and take the chance of doing that?
Well, that's the thing. A lot of these people, they're just lying. Everyone knows. They all have the same stories. You can't tell me that every single person is being persecuted by the cartel. These people, they don't have any money. These people are told what to say. They're told that they're being persecuted by the cartel. Why? Because our asylum laws are so loose. If you say that, boom, free amnesty. You get to take with both hands from the system. Free hotel, free ride to New York City. Why wouldn't you say that?
That's a good point. And you know why they're saying that? Because the way America's immigration laws are currently set up, it's not based on the ad-old phrase, the truth will set you free. If you actually tell the truth, we don't have any jobs in our country right now, and, my kids are at risk of starving, that won't get you in the country. So they don't have any other choice but to lie.
Exactly. And you running full speed in the barbed wire because you don't want to wait 6 years in line goes back to my original point.
So wait a minute.
Honestly, if you're stupid enough to run into a brick wall that I built, it's not my fault. So
if a mom cannot find any opportunities to feed her children, you want her to wait 6 years to get into the country?
Yeah, this is actually my favorite. Like, a lot of people, just because there's a crying kid in Mexico doesn't mean we tear up our constitution and throw away our nation. No, absolutely not.
Have you no sympathy at all for these people?
Well, here's the thing. America first. We have to have sympathy for our country. Our country is in shambles. Do you think we should just make everyone an American citizen?
Current thing. Our country is one of the wealthiest countries on earth. We sound like millionaires complaining that we don't have enough. I mean, they're willing, as you and I are discussing, they're willing to run through barbed wire. Your response is no, America first. Our country's in shambles. Compared to the rest of the world, it's not.
No. I mean, that's just the prettiest lady at the ball fallacy. Just because every single woman at the ball is ugly doesn't mean, you got the hottest one. Like, I mean, it's just like every country is failing. I think that's a most important time to seclude ourselves. If we take on the whole world as it's dying, that's the final nail in our coffin. Everyone's doing poorly.
So let me ask you this, because in the comments, someone asked a question. I don't see the comment anymore, but he asked, do you not realize that America was stolen? How do you respond to that? That we came to this country as immigrants, and folks say that it's an invasion. We actually were that to the Native Americans. In fact, when we talk about the danger of letting immigrants in, right now, historically in America, for at least the last 400 years, we have been the most dangerous immigrant to ever come to this country.
That's what they tell you on Disney, yeah. But do you act like the people came and took out a foreign government? I believe in colonialism.
That ain't what I'm saying. I'm saying we came here with ill intentions. It had nothing to do with a foreign government or not. We came here with bad intentions.
Whoa, bad intentions? What are you talking about? We turned America into the most equitable, richest, most technological advanced, the greatest adventures. We built the airplane here. Look at what it was before. Do you think that Native Americans would have went to the moon, built the airplane, built the skyscrapers?
So wait a minute, hold on. So if I go...
The most amazing nation in the world, some of the best products in the world. The Apple iPhone was designed there. The airplane, modern medicine, some of the best surgeries. And you're saying this is a mistake? We should take it all back and throw it away, give it back to the Americans?
So,
our ancestors
wait a
made some
minute.
of the greatest achievements in world history. Americans are the best in the world. The fact that we want to villainize them and say that these people are bad, they stole it from these people. These people were savages. They were eating people. They were cannibals. They were pagans.
So what you're basically saying,
Never done that.
well, wait a minute, hold on. What you're basically saying that if you and your family were living around the poverty level, if I was to come in your house, remodel every room, gold faucets, make your house worth considerably more, but lock you and your family up in the basement, I've actually done a good thing.
No, because I believe in colonialism for America. I'm an American. Just like how Native Americans want to fight on the behalf of Native Americans, I'm here to fight on the behalf of Americans. No, I don't think when a colonizer goes into a country like Gaza and they knock down their apartments and build up some nice kibbutzes with a 7-Eleven, they're helping them. No, they have the right to resist, but it's not owed to those people. I mean,
But do you realize the history of this country, what we did to the actual, or you mentioned all of the cars and all of the capitalism and medicines that we done to make this a great country. You didn't mention what we did to the people who were here first.
what were they doing to each other? That stuff was happening all over the world.
What is what?
That's happened in America.
So what are you saying? They were brutalizing each other first, so it's okay that we did it?
What do you mean brutalizing?
You asked the question, what were they doing to each other? What did you mean?
Yeah, they were doing the same thing. They were just brutalizing each other. They weren't a people that you could live with. We had to colonize the land and push
You didn't have, why did you have to colonize the land? What are you talking about?
Think about it. If you had a bunch of cannibals and pagans in your ritual that were going to come and steal your dog from your front yard, come and eat it and do a ritual on it, these people have to go.
Current thing. You do realize that Native Americans were successfully occupying this land for hundreds of years. And by the way they were doing it was very respectful for the land. No animals were going extinct. They didn't dump waste in places they didn't need to. They actually were doing a good thing for the land. What are you talking about?
The buffalo. There's no native buffalo here anymore because of the Native Americans. And these people, I mean, they got their casinos. I don't know why they're crying. Honestly, if you can point to any geographical place on the planet, and you could probably trace it back to a different group of people. This is like the insane argument in Israel. Just because, you can possibly trace back the Jewish religion to the area of Palestine, it's like you don't get the genocidal claim to go kill him 2,000 years later. It's like we took this over. Sorry, it's ours now. I mean, we turned it into the greatest country in the world. We're not going to throw it away. And do you really believe the ancestors of the Native Americans would have done what the stock of our country did, the founders of our nation, our ancestors?
Well, I mean, that's a good question. I think it can be viewed both ways. Now, obviously, what the colonizers have done is made major metropolises all over this country and made it quite functional in terms of a bustling, functional nation. However, with the tribalism that the Native Americans were doing, I will state again, I believe the way the Native Americans were managing the land was better for the land, better for the economy. I guarantee those big smog clouds you see over Los Angeles.
There's no economy. We brought the economy here.
Everybody, but wait a minute. Current thing, everybody don't operate off money. Everybody ain't money hungry like capitalists are.
People operated off murder, rituals, cannibalism, and worshiping their desert deity. I mean, these people. They're just, Americans are better. I hate to say it, but that's what. So
let me before. All right, fair enough. Before I let you go, I want to ask you a question coming straight out of the comments because you did talk about America first. You sound like you kind of support colonization to some degree. Rimerson 410 says this caller is just a white supremacist. What say you?
Well,
or nationalist, not supremacist, nationalist. That you're just a white nationalist. What say you?
Well, I don't know what my race has anything to do with it. Just like how an American would fight on the behalf of American values, the American regime, the American system, I think anyone else would be insane not to do that for their own country. You see Chinese people doing that for their country. Mexicans do that for their country. Israelis do that for their country. People in Palestine do that for their country. It's really only, this is where you can bring race into it. It really is only white Americans, the ones that are villainized, called Nazis, when they actually do it for their country. But everyone else is expected to do it. And, you know, Americans in a lot of these European countries are expected to sit on the sideline and not play ball.
Well,
They slander you with all these mean names. They call you racist. And I think, you know, we should be allowed to fight for behalf of our country, just like everyone else.
Yeah. Well, you do realize that whites in America, for the most of American history, were not doing it for everybody. They were doing it solely for themselves. I mean, my ancestors were here. They weren't making America great for people that look like me. That's something that is very recent. Only, like I often say, I'm the first member of my entire family tree that had civil rights from birth. Even my own mom didn't have it. So I don't know if I would agree with you in saying that they were doing what was best for everybody here in regards to creating this great America. They were doing what was best for them. Okay, my caller went on mute. I don't know if he had a call or whatever. We'll keep it moving. He sounds like if you run by him fast, he'll scream like a sissy. Where's that coming from? I don't get that. He thinks American means white man. Yikes. By the way, we're going to end up doing a show on something. I'll go right back to the box, but how many of you folks, because I know I have a lot of right-wingers in my audience, my beloved MAGA, how many of you are familiar with the song Lift Every Voice and Sing? Big Dog, yeehaw! Thank you for the hat and mustache. Tap the screen, folks. Get your boy up to 80,000. 700 plus of you in here. How many of you are familiar with the song Lift Every Voice and Sing? I sung it as a child. It goes back generations. I'm bringing it up because they're now referring to it for some strange reason as the Black National Anthem, and they're going to sing it at the Super Bowl next month, leading a lot of folks to suggest I'm not even going to watch the Super Bowl. We're going to certainly be doing a show on that. I want to see what you folks have to say, but they are going to be singing that song at the Super Bowl. I guess they're going to probably come right before or after the national anthem, giving a lot of folks who are not a fan of it to take a knee, perhaps. Who knows? But we'll see what happens. Anyhow, looking in the comments, then don't watch, says Boron. In regards to not watching the Super Bowl because an athlete takes a knee or now they got the Black National Anthem or whatever the case may be, these things take 2 minutes max. I mean, how long does a national anthem take to complete it? Or this Lift Every Voice and Sing song? You're going to tune out a whole 3-hour game? Go take a piss. Go get a beer when the song is... I mean, I don't get it. I really don't get tuning out the whole game because you know how much music is going to be played on Super Bowl Sunday, including Usher's halftime show, which should be off the chain. But there's going to be music shows leading up to the Super Bowl, songs played at every commercial. One song is enough for you to tune out the whole program? What does that say? Going back to the box, tap the screen. You know what I'm asking. David Douglas, good afternoon. Welcome to the program. Wow, that chat did not like talk. Fair enough. David, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, man. Thank you for having me on here. But going back to the history of America, you're right. A lot of people don't understand that it wasn't just the Indians here. If you really did your history, and it's crazy because I'm an old head. I'm 45, and I can actually say that I had some good Caucasian teachers that made me read certain books outside of the school books because they wanted me to know my history.
Where'd you grow up? What state did you grow up in? Where'd you grow up?
New York. I'm in New York.
I'm
a New York cat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And what was crazy was one of the teachers that put me on, I learned street law, business law, and all that stuff like that while I was in high school. And the one teacher that was teaching this to me, she said, you need to know all these laws. You need to know about your history. Don't let nobody ever tell. I said, well, I always read about history books all through my elementary, middle school, because I was the only boy growing up. I have 7 sisters. So my mom was real strict on me about knowing everything, the rights and wrongs about everything. And what I had learned was a lot of Afro-Americans were here. If you go back and look at King Ram, the Egyptian king, Ra, he wrote in his scriptures that he had been to America way before it was called America. It was called New Lands.
Wow.
He described it to the T, the whole land side. See, people don't, you know how they say, you're old enough to know this. Remember how they used to say, black people don't read, so they don't know?
Shit, they still say it. Yeah, I know, I've heard it.
Okay, see, and that was one of the reasons why I kept reading. One of my professors at the U of R, which is the University of Rochester College, he was my middle school social studies teacher. And he put me on game back then about all this. He said, listen, don't let nobody tell you nothing different. The books are right here for you to read.
So based on what your research, you're suggesting they came here and they left?
No, this is the thing. They migrated with Indians, Cherokee Indians. If you go back to the history of Cherokee Indians, why they look so much like us is because we were migrated with them.
All right, fair enough. So getting to the actual topic. So let me ask you this question then, because we were talking about, Trump versus Biden in regards to the actual border. Do you think there's a border problem at all?
There is. It's always been. Did you see the interview with the guy who was in charge of the military for the borders? He had said he served 6 presidents. And Biden is the first president to ever open up borders, and he suggested not to do that because there was too much stuff going on. I have friends that's in the military. Marine Corps, Navy, all that. And what happened was...
Well, hold on a second. Hold on real quick. The Speed Racer, thank you for those fireworks. But what I'm trying to get at is Speed Racer, definitely. What are you trying to say, that Biden sucks at the border? Would you support Trump? I'm trying to make sure I get clarity on this.
On that, yes, I would support Trump on that.
Okay.
And the thing about the misconcluded, the miseducation of Trump is people sit up there and say, "Oh, Trump don't like black people." That's not true.
Why do you think that? Why do you think they're saying that? Why do you think they're even saying it to begin with?
Because when Trump was young, he was he's still arrogant. Let's get that clear. Trump is an arrogant motherfucker. I ain't gonna lie about that. He's always been arrogant. But when he was young, he was naive and arrogant. But the thing about Trump was he was straightforward to everybody. He even letting you know what he's gonna do. He ain't hiding it. He not sitting up there telling you he gonna do this and don't do this. He's straightforward telling you everything he gonna
But
do.
you're not, so you think blacks see Trump as racist because he's arrogant?
A lot of that, I can't, and the thing about it is, a lot of blacks don't see Trump as that. It's not more blacks than white people that say Trump is racist.
I can't speak on it, but when I think, guess I'll ask you a few questions. A lot of times, the way he responded to the arrest of the Central Park 5 comes up. Are you aware of what happened there?
Yeah, the Central Park 5, the 5 boys who was accused of raping a woman. I think she was a white woman. She even pointed them out and said she didn't see them, but that's the clothes they had on.
You understand where Trump's place in that is, right?
Like I said, Trump is a naive. Trump is not informant on when it comes to something to go do with a community. Trump don't want no part. If you ever notice, Trump exclude any question when it comes to a community.
Well, wait, let me stick to this. We'll move it. We'll continue the conversation. But in regards to those folks who were wrongfully convicted of, he took out a 2-page ad in the New York Times calling for them to be lynched for the crime. Now, once they were exonerated, he doubled down. He didn't apologize to them. How do you view that?
I view that as that's his mistake.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a person. I can't judge a person by some of his actions.
Well, I just wanted to, the reason why I'm bringing it to you, because I asked you why do people think he's racist, and you said it's because he's arrogant. But you do realize that right there could have a major adverse feeling from the black community.
No, I was just about to say that. Yeah, that's true. That can be that. But this is the thing about it. Go look at the history of all Trump's business. And how many, you know how they say, oh, like the Trump Towers, the Trump buildings down south that got closed down. All the white people saying, oh, well, he left us out here, we were stranded, all that. You didn't hear no black person say that. And there was a lot of black people that worked there. There was a lot of black people that work for Trump in the environmental sector, working in housekeeping and all that, mainly in housekeeping, doing the cooking and everything. None of them said that. You wanna know why? Because Trump gave everybody packages. The white people always don't want.
You kind of got a loud background, David, but I want to ask you something else. Barack Obama being born in Kenya, that's something Trump pushed for a couple years. How do you feel about that?
Trump went off as advisors, man. And you know that. I mean, come on, keep it real.
Wait a minute. You're telling me Trump listens to his advisors?
You think Trump don't listen to his advisors?
Who the hell would advise him to go around saying the man is born in Kenya?
You gotta understand, Trump had, when he first got in office, who was all guiding him? The Republicans, right? They was all rooting for him and stuff. Listen, he had four dudes and three females, that young females that he had on an advised team for him.
Okay, let's just say you're correct. I totally disagree, but let's say even if you're right, if your advisors advise you to do something as a politician and you do it, who gets credit for what you're doing?
Oh, the president gonna get, the person that's money gonna get the credit.
Okay, so how do you think African Americans view him, suggesting that our first black president should be disqualified because he was born in Kenya?
I don't think he should be born in Kenya. I mean, I know he was born in Kenya, but I don't think he should be disqualified. Because let's be clear, it was more than one president that was black.
That ain't what I'm asking you. I'm asking you, Trump suggested that Barack Obama should be disqualified because he doesn't have national heritage. He wasn't born in the country, which is a lie. That was our very first black president. How do you think black people viewed that?
Well, they took that as a disrespect. Yes, I took that as disrespect because this is the thing. Trump, you can't go off with people, everything that you get documents tell you, and people like, oh, well, he wasn't born here because this every American that has a baby outside of America, do their kid can be considered as a native to our land?
You said, wait, say that again?
If a person has a child they born and raised in America, they go across seas or something for a little while, they have a baby over there, but they come back, they're in military or something like that, and they come back to the United States. Are they a child of the United States?
Yeah, if you're an American citizen and you give birth, that child is a citizen of this country. Now, it may end up with dual citizenship depending on what other country you gave birth in, but if you...
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. Okay, a lot of that goes on. A lot of that went on back then too. Even more back then.
But the point I'm trying to make, whether it's the central... Okay, what about... Okay, let's keep it moving. What about the fact that Trump, as a real estate mogul, a successful businessman, has a lawsuit in his past that shows he was refusing to rent to people of color?
I can't speak on that because I know the knowledge of that situation or lawsuit and stuff. Because I don't look into all this, man, like lawsuits and stuff like that. Because the thing about it was, if you had so many lawsuits, how you can still have a good business partnership even around the world.
because people don't care about it, because you're dealing with clients that don't give a damn about that.
True. Listen, that's not true, because if I'll give you, I live where Kodak is here, right? If George Eastman had some type of lawsuit like that, you think China would have let him come over there, or you think he would have went and had more Kodak builders across seas and stuff industrially?
Okay, David, listen. Let me just say this: we all know that China has committed all sorts of human rights violations. Yet look at how many corporations deal with China. American corporations, Apple, Nike, you name it. So the idea that if you have a bad past, nobody will deal with you as a businessman, I don't even think America lives up to that. I do got to move it on though, David. Appreciate you coming in. You're always welcome back. All right, looking in the comment section. Trump want like him. Shaking my head. I don't quite get that cold. Go to bed, says Thunder. It's daylight. It's daylight outside. Smash that like button on YouTube. My TikTok folks, tap the screen. Get your boy up to 85 now. Do appreciate that. Looking in the comments. Like I said, he doesn't know what he's talking about, says Marcellus Bundick. I can't pronounce that, but okay. Fair enough. David to Trump, I just love you. Oh my God, you're using the Tim Scott. I wonder will Saturday Night Live reenact Tim Scott, the I love you. Oh my God. That is not a good look for Tim Scott. Hopefully Tim Scott can pull off a Ben Carlson, because it probably would affect him running for Senate again in the future. Just, get a job on the Trump administration where you can take a back seat, nobody see you anymore, and get paid. But if he has to run for office again, yeah, that ain't gonna help him. I don't even know if that'll help him with Trump supporters, because even though you want folks that are going to support Trump if you believe he's the best for the country, Trump supporters do like a strong leader. Tim Scott looked so weak doing that. So I think that's going to hurt Tim Scott's political career on both sides of the aisle. What do you think about the Texas government? I'm not from Texas. I can't speak on it. I do believe what Greg Abbott is doing with the immigrants is inhumane. I don't support that whatsoever, but outside of that, and the abortion laws are probably somewhat near inhumane as well. I mean, we did a show on the woman there. I can't think of her name right now, but she had a ailment where the child was going to be basically a stillborn, and they wouldn't let her terminate the child. And they have laws on the books where if you use Texas highways to go to another state and have an abortion, you could be held accountable for using their highway to facilitate it. I can't say anything positive about the Texas government with that shit out there. Looking in the comments, Trump lied about his businesses to get loans. No bank is willing to do business with Trump anymore. I don't believe that, Harold Marshall. I don't believe that. First of all, Trump is a polarizing figure. There's a hell of a lot of banks, presidents of banks that lean right, that would do whatever it took to work with Trump. So I don't believe that no bank would do business with Trump. I hate to bring politics into it, but a left-wing bank, yeah, they don't like Trump. But I do believe Trump could easily find. I mean, if you got assets and you got good credit, somebody will do business with you. But make no mistake about it, Trump is going to be financially hurt because of what's going on. I understand the guy claims he had $15 billion when he came down. He escalated in 2015. Whether or not that's true, Forbes and things like that has kind of disputed his wealth. But Letitia James in New York is probably going to get at least 200 mil or more out of Trump. E. Jean Carroll is right now, that case is coming to a conclusion as we speak. They actually may give a number today. She's going to get double-digit millions out of President Trump. If New York can shut his businesses down, I don't know if Letitia James is going to prevent him from operating in New York, but that's going to cost him money. A judge just gave the Capitol police officers the right to sue Trump for January 6th. There is nowhere near as much evidence required in a civil trial as there is in a criminal trial. Civilly, they're going to probably win in the fight to say Trump is at least civilly responsible for January 6th. He's bleeding money, not to mention how much is he paying in legal fees? Is all of that being covered by supporters? So I don't know what his finances are, and I'm not going to pretend to know. But even if he's worth several $billion, he's had to lose at least one of them by now. I mean, all of these different legal teams on standby, he has had to lose at least $1 billion already by now. Even if he's worth $15 billion, losing $1 billion is a big loss. That's a decent percentage of your income. And there is obviously more of that on the way. So, look, he's losing money. Him becoming president has been financially costly to him. Looking in, we don't even want to go into the likes of Mike Lindell and Rudolph Giuliani and some of the other folks that have lost all of their damn money. But Trump is losing money, noticeable amounts of money, because of what's going on. I mean, you can't make enemies everywhere. I mean, it is what it is. I don't care how great your plan is for America. You can only make so many enemies. Nowhere near 15 billion, says DeAndre. Yeah, I don't know if you're saying he hasn't lost anywhere near 15 billion or he's not worth anywhere near 15 billion. I don't know. That's why he wants Nikki to drop so he can get the GOP money. I believe that. And the idea we talked about on yesterday's show, they had legislators in Florida actually putting a law in the books that would have allowed Florida tax money to pay Trump's legal fees. Ron DeSantis, of all people, stepped up and said, hell no, I will veto that. Wow. That's some pretty strong devotion when the taxpayers of a whole state are willing to put together money and get you out. I disagree. Becoming president did not cost him. His actions with president cost him. Well said, JJ. I do agree with that. Nevertheless, folks, you know what this is. This is a lunch break live. I do appreciate the 88,000 on the likes. You guys certainly showed your boys some love. You enjoy civilized dialogue from both sides of the aisle without any concern of the host trying to block, ban, or censor you. You are in the right place. We're here Monday through Friday. I encourage you to follow the program. It's your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. I'll catch you on Monday, or perhaps tomorrow. YouTube. Shout out, you guys have been holding on. I do appreciate that. The audience, a few more of you guys are starting to tune in. I do see that. I may end up doing the Rumble thing. I got to get another device to have a third camera aimed at me. Cheeky Chops, you were not... You didn't go unnoticed. I do appreciate you with the commentary. Not to you, Timmy, but to the world. You're wrong. It makes the world turn, says Cheeky Chops. All right, fair enough. Trump has 2.6 billion according to Google. Then he's losing a lot. If that's his income, Cheeky Chops, if he only has I hate to use the word only with 2.6 billion because that's a hell of a lot of money. But if that is accurate, then he's hurting. He is hurting. What is her name? Fucking Letitia James. When you factor in, she's going to get rid of the 0.6. She's going to get rid of the 0.6 and more. That whole New York Letitia James case, I think she's pursuing 200 to 300 million. Plus, you look at how much it cost him legally with all of that shit. That one case has got to be probably the better part of $1 billion. That one case, if she gets 300 million, I don't know how much money he's paid to lawyers, but it's got to be millions. It's got to be millions. Is legal fees going to all of this shit? Is he really raising that much money to keep teams of lawyers on standby in all of these areas? I don't know. But if he is worth 2.6 billion, then this is noticeable amounts of money. I mean, it's not going to break the guy. He's not going to be homeless anytime soon, but this is noticeable. And unlike Rudolph Giuliani with Ruby Freeman, folks, she'll never get paid. The folks suing Trump, they will get money. E. Jean Carroll, she's going to get paid because that money is retrievable from Trump. Rudolph Giuliani is fucking flat out broke. But E. Jean Carroll is going to get that money. I don't know how much she's going to win by the time it's over with, but she's probably going to get at least 50 mil. She's not going to be like the folks who sued Giuliani or the folks who sued Alex Jones. She's going to get paid. She's going to probably get all of her money, E.J. and Carroll. And the crazy thing is, Trump will not stop defaming her. So expect this to potentially go on and on. It's your boy Tim, the handsome